to talk about it. And it's that I don't think you need to be so freaking rigid. I don't need to be so rigid. We don't need to be so rigid. But I lean in my coaching with systems and structure because for the most part in our industry, there isn't enough. But you don't need to lose who you are as a human in terms of being flexible, in terms of being spontaneous, in terms of being fun as a salon owner. Like, as a human too, right? The human that is the salon owner. Your business is an extension of you, the human. And so, like, don't be so freaking rigid. And I remind myself of that often because in coaching, I know that it sounds like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And yeah, like, you do need to do those things. You do need to have systems in place when it comes to hiring, firing, SOPs for day-to-day operations of your business, for inventory, for social media, for your marketing and messaging. Yes, you need to have systems in place if you want to make money the easy way. You want to make money the hard way, you do it your way, you make it as hard as you want, like trial by fire. Is that right? Trial and error. I don't know. Like, you can do it that way if you want to. But I don't want you to have to do it that way. I want you to have these systems in place. I want you to be well on your way to having the foundation to your $1 million salon. Like, these are the things that we can put in place so that you get to be fun, so that you don't have to be so rigid, so that you don't have to be like a freaking wet blanket all the time. Because that's not what we want to do. So where are you in your business being too rigid? Do you have an SOP for hiring and it just doesn't work on the calendar and you're just like, this is what we do, so we're just going to keep doing it? Lexi said I need to do this, so I'm just going to keep doing it. Like, or can you just relax a little bit and go, okay, this really in my gut feels right, so this time we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to stick to the main process, the overall feeling of the SOP. And no, like, she doesn't have to wait a full 2 weeks to come back for her model. If I like her, I know I'm going to hire her, just book it. Have her come in, tell her. Normally we wait 2 weeks on this sort of thing, but I really feel good about this, and if you feel good about it, we don't have to wait the 2 week period, and you can come on in earlier and we don't have to sit with it that long. Like, whatever. Or maybe your 2 week thing is dumb. Like, excuse my French if you have little ears in the car, and that's a no word, but like, why do you make them wait 2 weeks? Like, question everything that you do yourself. You don't want other people to question you because that's just annoying AF. But like, you should be questioning like why you have things in place often. You should be questioning, why do I do it like that? Why am I, like, what is the process? Why did I set it up like that? Do I need to keep doing it like that, or could we improve that? Could we refine it? And the beauty of what I have built in my salon is that our systems are pretty ironclad. They're pretty efficient. They've been there a long time, right? But I have had the experience of needing to refine them. And that's where we want our businesses to get. We want to get to a spot where, like, yeah, it works fine. Let's make it better. Let's make it 10 times better. Especially when it comes to your hospitality, your customer service, your customer experience. Like, you can go really, like, so in depth on this, and refinement gets to be the thing that stands you up, like, makes you stand out. It makes you stand apart from every other freaking boring ass beige salon, like in the sea of salons, right? And it can be the thing that really people talk about because it means something to them. It's an experience for them. Now, of course, you can also be less rigid in your refinement. Like, you can go, okay, we did it like this because of like this, and now things have changed. Like, we don't even need to do that at all. Like, maybe you're just thinking refinement to your processes, to the way that you interact with your staff. Like, maybe you have all these meetings all the time, like every Friday, or every other week you have meetings with every single, like, you just rotate through and they have a meeting, you know, like once a month or something. Like, why? Do you need to? Do they like it? Do you like it? These are things that we need to ask ourselves. Is it beneficial for the business is probably the most important question, because if you don't like it but it's super beneficial for the business, suck it up, buttercup. Like, you have to keep doing it, or you have to figure out a way to change the process so that you get the same result but you like it better. Like, I'm all for flexibility so that you enjoy your business so much. Like, it should light you up. Your business should be, these people are going really fast. You see them passing me. I'm not going to tell you how fast I'm going, but they're going really fast. light you up. It should feel like you're in the honeymoon phase, like the cutest boyfriend you ever had of your life. Like, that's how I want you to feel about your business, but you have to do things to make your business feel like that. And sometimes it's changing how you operate. Sometimes it's changing how you approach things. It's letting yourself relax a little bit to be able to see where refinement could even happen. And these are the things that we don't make time for. And so if you leave it up to chance, it's never happening. Like, what gets scheduled is what gets done. And these are things that are super freaking important for you, for me, for all of us as salon owners, that we come back and we take a minute, we take time and have a refinement moment and just look at everything that we've got going on and ask yourself, like, do you like this, right? And back to the thing, if you're having meetings all the time and you hate doing meetings, if it's impactful for your business, great, keep doing it. But if it's not, and your team kind of hates it a little bit too, because, like, I mean, we're artists, we're not like people that want to have a lot of meetings. And I know that the industry has changed a lot, but like, in our core, does anybody want to have a lot of meetings? I don't think so. I don't like sitting around. Like, I like having exciting things on my calendar, and sometimes those are get-togethers or pop-ins or check-ins or whatever. But like, meetings are kind of soul-sucking unless they're really structured well and have a good point to them, or they're exciting in their content. But like, a check-in with your staff is not an exciting meeting unless you make it exciting. So how can you do it differently so that they're engaged, or so that you get the result that you want? Because if you're just having meetings and not getting, or having like check-ins, or I don't know, whatever we call them, reviews or that sort of stuff, and you're getting the same results, stop wasting everybody's time. You try a different approach. Like, there's only so long that you should be doing something before you're like, I'm not getting the results that I want. Now, I don't think you should be an early quitter at all on anything, but like, if you've given it a good, like, at least 90 days and you're not seeing even the tiniest shift of the needle moving, then it's probably a good indication that it's time to change that. Not necessarily, like, maybe if it's 6 months, for freaking sure. If you're not seeing any movement, like, you need to reassess. But also just casual conversations, like, what if we move these meetings to be digital? I used to have in-salon meetings, and if we have to have all-hands meetings, I will host them on Zoom. Yeah, sometimes we do it in person too, but like, I'll make Zoom an option. I really like that personally. We've done it a couple of times. We don't have a lot of meetings because my stuff is pretty tight, and so we don't have to. And I put it in Slack, and we have a system around that about sharing information. And have I done a Slack video yet? That would be a good one. I need to be at my computer for that, so I can show you the computer screen. But like, it is, or the phone or whatever. But like, you can do things differently. You just don't have to do it the way you've always done it. So don't be so freaking rigid, okay? Give yourself permission to be flexible, permission to have fun in the salon, and permission to be efficient AF through all of that as you refine what it is that you're doing in your business. Because without refinement, you're either changing stuff way too long, like, or way too often, or you're playing with like an old playbook. Imagine if like your football coach never, if like, come on, any of us played football? Probably not. If you did, please let me know. But like, if you are on a football team and your football coach uses the same playbook every season, eventually, like, what's going on here, folks? Eventually the other team knows what's coming. It's not exciting. It doesn't work. It's boring. Like, other teams develop like way more complicated plays. And like, I know anything about football. This is hilarious. But like, it's not gonna work long term, right? Like, you can see where I'm going with this. This wouldn't be a successful way to do business either. And so somebody is like actually dying that I made a football reference right now, because can I tell you, I know like the least. I know the least about football. But ultimately, oh, that lady's backing up too. You have to refine. If you're not refining your business, you're dead, right? You're dead in the water. Like, we can't leave our businesses up to chance, because they're too important. You're too important for that. Like, you must. And if you don't have good systems, that's probably a good place, like, or it's a great place for you to be hanging out with me, for sure. Because we've got 100 days of this. 100 days of salon systems and stories and all sorts of things, and rants and rambles, and just me hanging out with you. I promise, stick with me. Watch all 100 days of this, and there's no way your business and your salon leadership doesn't freaking blow up in the best way possible. You can't not improve if you're taking this stuff and implementing. I promise you, after 18 years of salon ownership, you have to refine, you have to come back, and you can't be so freaking rigid, even when the foundations are the most important thing that you have going in your business.